so today we're going to do chapter 12. Remember that in chapter 11, we learned what was called the perfect tense? And the number one rule with the perfect tense is what? You have to attach your endings to the third principal part of the verb. So if your verb is laudo, we're used to attaching it to loud, okay, but not anymore. Laudare is our infinitive. Laudawi is our third principal part. That is our perfect stem, okay? We also learned that the perfect tense always ends in an ed. These things are going to be important to keep in mind as we continue on and go to chapter 12. So in chapter 12, we learned the perfect tense system, which is made up of the perfect. We're going to put a check next to that because we already know that one. It's made up of the pluperfect. And it's made up of the future perfect. When you translate these, you're going to see that they all end in an ed. Ed, had, ed, will, because it's future, right? Will have ed. Remember, for the perfect, you optionally could have the word have. So, perfect tense, I have praised. Pluperfect, I had praise. Future perfect, I will have praise. And that makes up the perfect tense system. So all three of those form a system. And what's really important is that all of them use the third principal part of the verb as the stem. So yes, we're going to learn new endings, but the endings are meaningless if you don't attach them to the third principal part stem, to this laudau. Again, if your endings are not attaching to a V, it's wrong. Okay, unless it's an irregular, do, dari, dedi, sto, stari, steti. Not really. Okay, so perfect tense, we already know. E, isti, it. Emus, issus, erupt. Okay? Pluperfect. Future perfect. Okay. What is your imperfect endings? Do you remember? Not OSTM, USTA, SNT. Imperfect was what? Yeah. Bomb, bos, bot, vamos, bates, and bont. And future was bo, bis, bit, bemis, bitis, and bunt, right? Okay. Erase all of these B's. See, you already know the endings. We just need to get rid of all these B's. And instead, any guess what we're going to put before it? W. ER. Eram. Eras. Erat. Eramus. Eratis. Erant. Ero. Eris. Erit. Erimus. Eritis. What's going on here? Those are the same, so we can't have that. Int. That one needs to change a little bit. Okay, have you seen these before?
Yes.
Yes, where?
Isn't it
These endings are the same,
nice, perfect, nice job. Bro.
yeah, as the be verb. Remember, the be verb, however, is a standalone word. Okay? These are endings. Okay? These are endings that attach to verbs. So you really should not get them confused because one sits all by itself and one attaches to a verb. Okay? So this looks like it would be confusing, but it shouldn't. As you're actually doing translation, it shouldn't be. An example would be eram agricolai. I was a farmer. Versus lauda veram, I had praised. You see what I mean? So on paper they look the same when we're listing our endings, but when it's attached to a word, that's totally a different thing. Okay, so let's see what this looks like as we are going to conjugate a verb, and then you'll have an opportunity today to conjugate some verbs on your own. So let's pick the verb porto. Porto, portare, portawi. There's your third principal part. Okay? So perfect, pluperfect, future perfect. The stem stays the same. Porta. 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 Third principal part stem. Over and over and over again here. So is this redundant? Yes. And then you need your stem, or I mean your ending. Isti, it, emus, erant, eram, erat, erat, eramos, eratus, erant, ero, eris, erit. I'm leaving myself. Sorry. Erimus, eritus, and then this last one's important, erint, int. Keep in mind that if I were to ask you to do a synopsis, and I picked any random one, maybe third person singular, you just pick the third person singular of each of these. So it would be porta wit, porta brought for to wear it. So he carried, he had carried, he will have carried. And remember, all a synopsis does is it just takes one piece of each. It takes the same piece out of each box. Okay? So it shows me that you know all of this, but only makes you write 3 words.
Yeah, I think that
Like a summary. Yeah. You are going to have the chance to practice some of these on your own. We need to update our cardstock. So I'm just gonna pause this on the screen and then we'll go back to update it. So you're updating this bottom part that says perfect tense system. Okay, I'll give you time in a little bit to do that. I don't want to stop. Okay, we're gonna practice a few of these on our own. So you are gonna practice by conjugating in the perfect tense system and defining the verbs laudo, and paro, and then I want you to do do, dare, daddy. Remembering that this dad, D-E-D, is your stem. So that one's gonna be a little bit irregular. Yep, so this is going into classwork notes. And then together, I want to do the be verb. So we have sum, esse, we, right? And it means to be. We have the perfect tense, we have the pluperfect, and we have the future perfect. The perfect, we already know. Well, if you just write out your endings. E, is, it, emus, istis, errant, eram, eras, erat, eramus, eratis, erant, right? These are just your endings. Ero, eris, erit, erimus, eritis, and then erint. Okay, what was the trick for perfect tense? What did you just put before all the endings? FU, right? FU, 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 FU. Okay, so fui, fuisti, fuit, fuimus, fuistis, fuerunt, right? I have been. Okay. FU, 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 FU. I had been. Remember, pluperfect always uses had. FU, 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 and FU. Okay. And this I will, because it's future, have been. And that's the be verb. you could say, Wit Agricola, he has been a farmer. You could say, Fuerat Agricola, he had been a farmer. Or you could say, Fuerit Agricola, he will have been a farmer. And these three words right here also form a third person singular synopsis. Okay, we're going to have the opportunity to do some practice on page 67. That will also go into classwork notes, page 67A. I want to do the first one with you. So, Pug na werat la vorabant and bu la wisti. Okay. On the first day of Latin, I told you that the endings tell us everything. So you need to isolate your ending and then find it in your chart and tell me what it means. Right? So pugna werat, 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 right here. He had fought. What's its tense? It's pluperfect. You need to tell me what tense it is. Bunt. Oh, they're mixing it with present as well. Yeah, they will labor. And that is future. Wisti, isti it. You walked, ed. And that is perfect. This will take you some time. You need to have your endings chart out in front of you. Isolate your ending. Find it on your chart. See how it translates. And then if you look at B on page 67, and we're not going to probably get to that today, but they go the other way, which is even trickier. I have wounded. So you need to find your triggers here. Have, ed, is what tense? Perfect, good. So perfect tense, what's your subject? I, so you know it's going to end in an E, right, with that I. You know you need a third principal part, so to wound is? Vulnero, vulnerare, vulnerawi. And it can stay with just that I, because it's an I have wounded. Vulnerawi is going to be your answer. I did that much faster than you're probably able to do that. This takes time. And the next one for B, you, singular it says, were capturing. Okay, was or were-ing is what tense? Imperfect. So bam, ba, spot. You, singular, were capturing. What's to capture? What's to capture? Yeah, let's use okupare. So okupare, first principal part because we're in imperfect. Okupa, box. You see, even I needed to pause and think about it and think about what box that's going to fit in and what the ending looks like. So this is not easy, and it definitely takes time. If you look at your vocabulary on page 66, you'll notice that your vocabulary is it's all nouns. Nouns are the first and second declensions. You need to enter your vocabulary into Quizlet. Let's look at a little bit of that together. So we're on page 66, chapter 12, vocab, and it's primarily nouns. All right, we have audakia. Audakiai. It means daring or boldness. Notice it's a feminine noun. Have you heard of the word audacity before? Yeah, audacity. So former President Obama wrote the book, The Audacity of Hope. Coming from audakia, audacity, like the boldness, daring to hope, daring to have hope. Audacity coming from audakia, a feminine noun. Charis, charai, it means wagon or cart. Okay, so obviously they didn't have cars, they'd have a wagon or a cart, and that's a masculine noun. I know I say wagon, very strange. Okay, charis, wagon or cart. Curai, a feminine noun for care or anxiety. Dominus. Domini. Oh, it means Lord or master. And this is a masculine word. Think a lord or a master would have been masculine. Don't confuse it with the word magister. Magistri, notice that drops the E, which means master or teacher. Oh, you could come that. Okay, that's masculine as well. So dominus is more of a lord, okay, like a god. Magister is more of like somebody who's teaching you. We have the word inopia. Inopii, which is a lack or a want. Remember the word copia, which was plenty. This is the opposite. Inopia, which is a lack or a want. Ira, ooh, think irritated, irritable, anger. And this is a feminine word. Liber, libri, it means book. It's masculine. Think of the word library. Do you see that it drops the E? Notice that there's no E in library. Don't confuse it with the word libere, which is freedom. Think liberty, keeps the E. So liber and liber are the same. It's how it declines that determines, is it going to be book or is it going to be freedom? And think library versus liberty. One keeps the E, one drops the E. We have locus. Loci, another masculine noun meaning location or place. Pena, penai, a feminine noun meaning punishment. Think of the phrase subpoena. Sub has been a word, means under, right? Submarine. Pena, punishment. If you are subpoenaed, you are under punishment if you do not go. Under punishment of the law. You have to attend if you're subpoenaed. That is a Latin phrase. Populus, populi, masculine for people. And then socius, which I think we've seen before in translation, socii is masculine for comrade or an ally. So a mix of masculine and feminine nouns, continuing to add them into Quizlet, continuing to practice declining those. Okay, we just have one small thing left and then we're done. And that is how to form an adverb. We did this a little bit on the warm-up. There were some notes on this. This is pretty easy. So an adjective describes a noun. An adverb describes a verb. Okay? The boy is quick. The boy ran quickly. Okay. Quick is describing boy. Boy is a noun, so quick is an adjective. Okay. Quickly is describing what? The running, right? The word run or ran is a verb, which makes quickly an adverb. In English, adverbs almost always end in an ly. In Latin, adverbs almost always end in an e. So you take the adjective. And an adjective is either going to end in a US or an E. So let's say it's mollus, or altus, or longus, or magnus. Okay, those all end in a US, right? You subtract the US, and you add an E. Okay, so that becomes male, alte, longe, magne. Badly, highly, longly, greatly. What about the adjectives that end in an ER? Like miser, good. Or liber. Or sacer. Okay? All you do is add an E to those. Okay? So those become misere, libere, sacere. Translating to miserably, freely, sacredly. So in an adverb, remember, describes a verb.